Okay, this is vocal editing lesson number 2, part 4. Now, we're going to go ahead and do a second pass on these syllables. So we've already cut um, all these syllables up and aligned the tops of the vowels all the way through this first phrase. We haven't done the second phrase yet. Actually, we did this part too. This second half of the verse we haven't done yet. Okay. So here we go. It's already been lined up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play with the attack transients, lining them up. Bring this out. Okay, so this one's shorter, so I'll move this one in like that, and then that was probably already good the way it was. Okay, that looks good, and okay, there's a little bit of noise here on the top. Let's kind of clean that up with the pencil. Go through and just kind of declick it a little bit. Declick these, take these clicks out. And what's this whole? I'm just going to take these out. Okay. That should be good. Now we'll just put a fade. Tighten it up. That was the delete key, by the way. We'll just cut. Same as cut, but it's one key, so it's nice. Fade, crossfade, press just the F key. And got a little bit of noise. A little bit of noise there. Let's fix that. A little more. Get some of these out. Okay. Ooh, there's a couple more. Okay, let's see. Put fade there, put a fade there, and now I'm just going to extend these fades out a little bit, which actually now might be exposing more noise. So let's zoom in. Oh, there's a couple clicks I didn't grab because I didn't extend it that far before. So let me just fix those really quick. Okay. Oops. Okay, lost my place. All right.
Game.
Let's just drag that back a little bit. All right. And let's move forward. We have a little gap there. Let's fix that. Okay, so let's see. How do we want to fix that gap? There's a couple ways. Number one is, so there's the change in vowels from here.
Game.
Came to no surprise, came 2. So the 2 is it starts a little late in the game there. So there's a couple places we can edit. We could edit in this vowel, or we could edit in that vowel. Now that one places it later, so I'm going to probably edit inside that vowel in the middle. And that lines up pretty good there. So we're going to edit in the middle of the vowel. This is something we probably have not done yet, is editing in the middle of the vowel. So to do that, you have to have a relatively stable vowel. So it has to be fairly flat, okay? The flatter the better. That's pretty flat. That's pretty flat. It can't go like this guy here, he's getting louder at the end. See that? It's going louder. Same with this one, gets a little louder. So this one's fairly flat, but not that flat. This is much flatter, even though it goes down a slight bit there. And this one's really flat. So we can edit in the middle of these vowels. They're flat enough. And the way you do that is you have to line up the pattern. So, and we did this a little bit on lesson 1, but we're going to do it again right now. So I like to edit in the middle of the part of the pattern that has the highest peak and the lowest valley. So right there is where I like to edit. Same on this one, highest peak, lowest valley. Just it's the easiest place to see the zero crossing. That's why I do it there. The zero crossing is the point at which the audio crosses 0. 0 is this horizontal line. That's 0. All right, so it goes positive, negative. Okay. All right, so we're going to try to line that up to the tallest zero crossing right there and right there. So that's going to be our out of the edit. It's the out of the edit. We're going out of the edit into the rest of the track. And there, that's as close as I can get it to the zero crossing, because so it's going to be a little bit plus, because the resolution of Pro Tools doesn't get any, that's one sample, so that's as far as I can go. I can't get any tighter than that. All right, so now on this side, on the in of the edit, zoom in. I'm going to see if I can get it as close as I can to the zero crossing. And again, it won't let me get right on the zero crossing. Oh, pretty close. And here's the same thing. Oh, I need to move it back a little bit. Okay, so I'm shifting the right-hand side of the edit back to give myself some room. Okay, I'm moving the right-hand side because you always edit from left to right. Okay, I don't want to move the data that's on the left-hand side because we've already edited that and placed it. So you always move the data on the right. You never move the data on the left. The data on the left is locked. We're going left to right. So I'm going to line that up. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to line that up. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so now we can start to I'm going to zoom out, and you're going to see where we're at with this edit. As I zoom out, you're going to start to see that it's right in the middle of that vowel is where that edit is. That edit is right in the middle of that vowel. And you can see that if you back out that way, you can see the pattern continues with the exact same interval. If this pattern was interrupted in the middle of that vowel, you would hear a very obvious problem. It would sound bad. Some much lesser editors than myself would just sort of place those two vowels willy-nilly, randomly editing in the middle, and then just use like a large crossfade like that big, and that would sound not good also. I've seen it done, and it does not sound good. So I don't do it that way because I don't do things that don't sound good. This is the correct way to do it. Now I want to do a one cycle crossfade. I can even do a tighter one if I want, but I'm going to go ahead and do a one cycle crossfade. So that's one cycle where it goes from 0 to the top positive peak, to 0 to the top negative peak back to 0 again. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect, but a one cycle edit is gonna sound pretty clean.
Game to know.
Now you can still, even with all that care, get a bad edit and then have to do all that over again. In this case, we got lucky and it sounds good.
Game to know.
Sometimes I find that as I'm doing right here, I'm editing right on top of itself, so you have the edit happening on the left, or I've got it panned left and right. This is going to be panned in the center eventually. Or channel 1 and channel 2 happening right at the same time. It pronounces any kind of an anomaly. So sometimes I'll stagger these a little bit, but in this case, it worked out okay.
Game to know.
Perfect edit. There's no problem there at all. On that one, I can just put a crossfade. On this one, I can just put a couple crossfades. Normally, I don't like crossfades that large, but
Surprise.
we kind of got away with it, I think. I might normally just want to try to keep the crossfade as small as possible. The smaller the fade, the better.
Surprise.
There we go. And then the P sound, I'm not even going to get too in the weeds with that. That's good enough. And put a fade out and drag it over. We're going to zoom up a little bit just so we can make sure that we're not getting any noise that's amplified. That's a good edit right there.
Surprise.
Okay. There was no breath, so I just basically faded in, faded out the noise.
Surprise.
Or the noise floor, I should say.
Surprise. This.
Okay, so that's prize. This is the S sound. And then that's the T sound, the TH sound. So a little bit of noise there at the very, very beginning. I'm going to just bring that back. Bring this one back. And then I'm going to bring this one back a little bit more until there. They match. And then put a little...
This.
That's good. Put a fade there, put a fade there. Bring that over like that, bring that over like that, bring that over like that. Just kind of match them up as best we can. I don't see any spikes in there. No spikes in any of this. This looks good. Bring it down. We'll bring it back. It will take a listen up to that point.
It came to no surprise that she.
Okay. Put a fade there. And okay, that's good. We'll match those up best we can. The edit on the 0. That looks good. And let's go ahead and put fade in, crossfade here. Oop. And we'll put a fade out on that. Drag it over as far as we can. Amplified, make sure there's nothing weird in there. Oh, there's the attack transient. Can't go that far. And there's some noise in there, so let's take care of that. Getting these clicks out. Sometimes it's easier just to draw the whole thing. There we go. Okay, that'll be fine.
She got him for free.